afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an extra Propagandacast from your host, ImperialDane. Seeing as people have been asking a bit for a match from me, but I haven't really had anything sort of really good in terms of length, but I think, this one was close, but still not below the usual limit, so I thought I'd sneak in this one an extra episode for those, who've been asking, want to see some gameplay of mine. So, here you go. Not quite full length, also won't be doing any mid-game analysis, just again, sort of extra episodes, so going to be a bit more rushed in some ways. But here we are, with me, your host, ImperialDane, fighting against the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, the 112th Panzer Brigade, versus in the west we got Jazzy fighting here for King and Country, for the Commonwealth, for the 7th Armored Division, the Desert Rats. Going in aggressively here for the east, with me heading north as well as the Pioneers. MD-42 is going to sit rather standard. We've got here Circumvent, Mechanized Assault Elite Troops versus Advanced Emplacement, Special Weapons, and Mobile Assault. Going here for the fuel point. Pioneers, for some reason, didn't quite get the order. They're supposed to get up sandbags, so that caused a bit of problems there. So finally setting up was a bit too late here. MD-42 able to support here the Pioneers at the front line just barely. Had managed to set up there in such a manner that they could cover the Pioneers there a bit. There goes sandbags going up. At this point, section moving up. Going to use the advantage to get support here, trying to defend my fuel point in the north. I know most players tend to go for here, but the problem is I really do not like that cutoff point here. It's a really awkward one. And again, it's not one that players simply have to go if they head northward. So in that regard, I do wish they'd fix that part of the map, to be honest. But oh well. Pioneers being cut down. And he's not enough shifting focus from to the MD-42 or the Grenadiers, allowing actually my infantry a lot of free shots at the section, doing a lot of extra damage to his men, which works out kind of for me. There we got another Vickers on the way there for him. Section moving northwards again. He's spanking all on the northern fuel point, by the way. It means the south is completely open. Grenadiers following up there for the German army, with the Vickers there being carried forth by stout British yeomen. We got the Vickers section moving in from the north. MD-42, they can just barely cover it if he spots in time, and they've got to dog back the guys to support here. In this case, though, just barely managed to suppress them. Tom there stuck his foot a bit too up too far, and then got suppressed. Grenadiers moving up to deal with them up close, feathers finishing off there. Vickers moving up in the house section down to 2 men. At the same time, they're pushing through the centre, realising he's actually focusing a lot of his resources towards the northern half. So if he can sort of sneak in and grab some territory, at least even though lose here, it's not going to be so much of a loss here. So at least you can sort of just keep him bleeding out here, ensuring I will, have some territory and bleed him out there. Plus, I'll be actually getting the full advantage for this. There goes moving up. In this case, a pop. Elite troops, he's popped the Vickers in there, figure him get close with a concussive grenade. I can flash out the Vickers, at least do some serious damage. So pop this one, knowing I'm close to, one command point, which is what you need for the concussive grenade. Lastly, I aim for that. Alright, Jürgen, get me the grenade. I can't! Says a button saying, we have to wait a bit. Ah, there we go. It's unlocked. What does it mean? Just for it, Scheiße? And there you go. Almost got the Vickers there down to one man who's stunned up now. MD-42, Grenadiers there firing away. Pioneers continuing westwards here, and we got a mortar to follow up here. A bit of mortar support in case he continues to sort of fight around here, in which case the Granate and Werfer will serve the Wehrmacht well. Section moving ahead here, Grenadiers pushing forwards, trying to perhaps hunt down the last members, doing a bit of extra damage, but in this case, encountering in section. With another section moving up there for Jazzy, who's up to 3 sections, and the Vickers versus my 2 Grenadiers and MD-42, though of course to be supported by a mortar. MD-42 shifting up north to grab the point there, and Grenadiers rapidly pushed back there. Retreat! There's too many of them! Too many of the Inselaffen! Scheiße, not again. Mortar about to set up here. Section moving down.
We are losing a sector.
Slightly wondering something here. Did he actually see that mortar? It's not. It's not the thing I'm wondering about there, but either way, he certainly seems to react to the mortar as if though it's something that causes him great loathing and disgust. Anyways, there goes that point, because I haven't seen him, so I rather think he couldn't see no mortar. I mean, usually there's some kind of there, but I guess it's just when he popped into the house. All the way section there being pinned down by the MD-42. Grenadiers being northward. No G-44 on the way for them, though. Mortar there providing support here, covering the nearby area. He's going for the fuel point instead, basically drawing away troops from the rest of my forces. Grenadiers advancing here, one with veterancy 1, the other one, well, not as of yet. MD-42 they're covering. He's moving up the section, despite knowing there's an MD-42 there, but that works out for me quite nicely. Suppresses that section. Grenadiers moving ahead here. Vickers setting up there to deal with any Hun assaults that go through the centre. And flying away there with 30 caliber rounds, quickly killing one Grenadier there. Poor Ludwig falling over dead. I could try and lay in a quick smoke screen here to cover against the Vickers, but in this case I'm a bit too preoccupied with other matters, which includes actually taking up Pioneers, so they're moving about, going for a second Pioneer squad to ensure I can actually do that, and keep the other one close to the front, grabbing territory for the Fastland and the 112th Panzer Brigade, which was part of the second, or maybe in the third series of the Panzer Brigades. As with each series that went on, then they sort of got less and less well equipped. by the way. I'd like to make a nice company going up there, though, for the German army. Deutschland. Northern points have been secured. MD42 covering the Grenadiers there. Mortar hangs back for now. Grenadiers, they're getting G43s first. Pioneer sneaking about there. So he's finally gotten a fuel point for himself, but he's certainly a bit behind me in the fuel race. We also got Sappers out, and we got an armoured car there being requisitioned for Jazzy and the 7th Armoured Division section here up against the Grenadiers. The MD42 is already shifting. That one actually hasn't. We've got a push up here. Mortar being rushed. Concussive grenade there against the section. Grenadiers might rush up and deal with them there. We got Pioneers. Grenadiers moving up here, not fully reinforced. And here we got a push for the fuel point again. Section there being caught. A lot of action there. Grenadiers a bit of trouble here versus the section. And there you go, suppressor fire there, but the mortar can't deal with. In this case, though, just smoke the Vickers inside the house, since that's going to be a lot faster than just trying to clear that otherwise. Mortar crew, they're taking losses. And there you go, the smoke rounds going down there, covering the Vickers machine gun in a thick, enveloping fog. Good lord! Who left the kettle on for too long? It's not us, it's the Germans. The Germans left the kettle on. No, they're firing smoke bombs at us, you idiot. Sappers there pushing away the Pioneers there. No point in fighting on for too long. Got a 2-2 on the way for the German army. Just a bit of extra mobility here versus Jazzy in the early game. Almost got the Vickers there. And MD42 falling back for defensive positioning there. And Mortar Bomb could have gotten a wipe there on the Vickers. In this case, he got lucky, I didn't. Got a 2-2 out here by using the skin there. And I really like the detail here with the mesh turret, which is actually how they're supposed to be. I'm guessing, I mean, the whole, bit with the canvas on top there, which of course really does just for the sort of simplicity, but this is actually how they're supposed to look. I'm not sure why they went for a mesh turret, but I'm guessing it's for camouflage purposes with the likes there, but still having something there so they also, apply canvas, but still have a good sort of line of sight overall because, they're supposed to be used for reconnaissance. But still, 2-2 out there, and again with that little mesh turret detail there, really love it actually. We got an AC there on the way though for Jazzy, the Armoured Car Mark III. Pioneers securing the centre victory point for Safarsland. Grenadiers rushing back. And others moving ahead, moving the mortar now to a more forward position. And moving the MD42 ahead as well here to deal with him. I'm expecting an armoured car. In this case, I'm going to try and aim for 2-2-2. 2-2's and then full up there with some things. We've got also sightless there. And a bit of a Ghost Deutschland helmet there on the back. That was the usual marking bar with the Ghost Deutschland, a helmet. 2-2 moving ahead, and we've got the section out in the open. 2-2 engaging there with its co-axial machine gun and auto-cannon. Pioneers occupying the house here, partly for reconnaissance purposes, but also just to deny the house to Jazzy. Second 2-2 following up, we've got Sappers moving up there. We've got a fire from the Grenadiers, the G43 singing out, the 2-2 rolling up to assist as well here. Overall pushing forward to the front here, trying to keep as active as possible. Not leave my opponent too much time to do whatever he wants here. Sappers close, they're being wiped out. 2-2 pursuing. MD42 they're setting up, and there you go. A loss there for the 7th Armoured. Armoured car moving ahead here. Grenadiers getting up close with the Panzerfaust. And there we go. Good hit. Down to less than half health already in a matter of moments. I think 2-2 is slightly be careful here. Pioneers just continue to dominate and occupy in the southeast section, grabbing territory. Mortar fire raining down. Almost got the armoured car there, 2-2 moving for a few extra hits. And we got the other 2-2 on the way as well here. Pushing it down there in health slowly. And there you go, smoke popped. Grenadiers could try and move from north here and actually sneak behind the position there, by the way. The MD4 can move a bit further forwards as all of this is happening. Pioneers bring up there, 2-2 rushing in. And they're going gaining, almost got it. Moving in there and setting off a mine, I think, there we go. Which doesn't actually get the AC much to his luck there, much to my dismay. So that rather worked out for him. Good mine though, good mine. Yes, he got a bit lucky there with the friendly fire. In fact, the Vickers didn't even take a scratch. Looks like an armoured car blew up. Don't worry. They can't hurt us. It's our own explosives. And there we go, Stormtrooper. In this case, I'm just using it to harass in the south end, causing to overextend. I have to focus on too many things at the same time, which, might give a bit of options there. Plus, of course, Sturmgewehrs. Guys, concussive grenade, they're going against the section, they're starting it up there. MD42 firing here, we've got the 2-2 moving up to cover the flank of the MD42. A lot going on here up north, far north, Pioneers grabbing territory. Another AC there from Jazzy's really going heavy there on the 2-2-2s, much to my surprise. The mortar, of course, a bit further forward here, providing fire Unterstützung. And got a good hit in the section. Stormtrooper was there, going points. And he's just not really liking something. Veteran on the mortar. And he's just complaining about the mortar. It's only actually gotten 2 kills now. It hasn't really done much in terms of killing before that. But it seems like mortar's having some kind of exaggerated effect on his mind. Storms with this current territory again. Bit off from munitions there, but then closing in on the Sturmgewehr. So part of me is considering Panzer. And there I go. My basic question is, are you seriously expecting me to fight on your terms? I gotta fight to my armor's advantages, and that involves the mortar. Without it, the Wehrmacht is generally very disadvantaged. You need the smoke just to give your infantry more freedom of movement, and also deal with support, but also just the firepower there gives you an edge. So, as the Wehrmacht, you really need the mortar. Also mine there, but basically aiming for assault rifles there because they'll help versus the infantry. Again, the armoured cars are a problem, but rather focusing just cutting away the infantry, supporting them, and then rely on the Pack 40 and the 2-2 to sort of deal with the armoured cars. Section there flanking from sort of there, going straight for the fuel maybe. 2-2 there just providing covering fire, and there goes Storm to hit the mine. Half the unit is gone. Armoured cars rolling in there. Bit of exposure here, Grenadiers need to pull out to Panzerfaust. Looking a bit risky here. Pack 40 though is almost done here. Grenadiers are all low on health. They've got the 2 armoured cars. The flanks not allowed to use an infantry. We've still got a section they're covering, and there you go. Almost wiped the Grenadiers. They've got turning on the Grenadiers. Panzerfaust here. Close being wiped here. Morton placement up here for Jazzy, providing artillery support now for the men. And the Grenadiers got wiped there. Bit of a harsh loss here. The 2 ACs actually come a bit of a surprise. Certainly a nasty combination. At the same time, it is expensive fuel-wise. So while it is a problem now, technically it means I don't have to worry about Cromwell so fast, which means if I actually rush ahead with armour, I might have a slight edge. Though again, the 2 ACs can still give him a problem in a Panzer IV, for example. Or Stug, even an Austrian can quickly launch a lot of problem with the 2 ACs. I mean, they're still pretty good versus medium armour, which tends not to get talked about a lot. I mean, they're not the best, but I mean, well handled, they can do some damage there with decent support. But section range of problem with the Grenadiers and the MD-42 there up close, cutting them down, and sent running. So a lot of band 4th action here on Favorable approach, take up there for the Wehrmacht for the 112th Panzer Brigade. The Panzer Brigade formed up as a response to the losses during, well, the Normandy landings and also Operation Backlash on. And in that regard, they're sort of meant to quickly, build up a large series of armoured forces alongside the forces that also meant to respond to that, to build up a large modern infantry force. This specifically meant that for dealing with Soviet armoured formation, the problem is they mostly saw fighting against the Western armoured formations, where things tactically and strategically were a lot different, and they didn't, in most cases, perform too well. A few Panzer Brigades actually performed pretty well, but most were sort of put away as other units and upgraded or just used as replacements. We've got a 2-2 moving up here, using that for reconnaissance a bit there, but also just sort of shoring things up while I wait for my panzers. Stugs waiting there for the take-up to happen. Morton plate, of course, has quite a bit of range here against me, so that's also a problem. But the Stormtroopers stand ready, hardened men of the 112th Panzer Brigade. At least some of the more competently trained ones. So Paul McCoy up there for me and the German army. But still he is, by the way, hasn't grabbed the southern victory point at all. He's kind of forgotten about that, which actually works out from that, gives me a victory point advantage there. Laying down a teleman in case he actually tries to flank through the north there with his armoured cars. Those double armoured cars are very much threatening. They break through at the right spot. He can actually do a lot of damage to me. So laying out a teleman, for example, to cover the flank there is very much a priority there for me, for example. I don't think he's going to try. I mean, he could try and rush against the back 40, but if he does that, I'll have a slight advantage and edge. In this case, to slightly change up how I'm going to do this. I mean, I realise I can't just keep pushing through here. I need to try and outmaneuver him, sort of try and swing around him there again, trying to apply some pressure. So in that regard, I begin setting up for a southern push here. Going to try and strike for the south. Connect territories there with the victory point in theory, at least get close to maybe hit the fuel point there, or maybe even try and threaten the mortar emplacement somehow, while still keeping up a sort of front here, then sort of break him down. So it's going to require managing 2 forces here, if you will. That's going to be a bit tricky, and again, I always have to keep those armoured cars in mind on top of that. So there's certainly a few things to keep in mind. Storms are there quickly repulsing these sappers there with their Sturmgewehrs. Ludwig, don't shoot into the ground, but the bullets are going after them. Just don't! I'll shoot you! Myself! But there you go, smoking against the Vickers, since I did have a bit of line of sight in part due to the 222. Which could give him some northern pushes. So pushing up here, using the smoke tactic just around the central point neutral. Stormtroopers occupying, giving some line of sight here, reconnaissance. So there you go. I mean, even the smoke screen can do a lot there if you actually want to attack a opponent head on. So it's kind of funny, most people never do it because it can cut down so much, approaching fire, just draw so much attention. So I mean, really, if you're the type who wants to attack a lot head on, use smoke. You're going to have 2 armoured cars of Vickers and a tank gun. I could walk up there, render the point neutral, no problems. There's a little detail there. We got Pioneers that engage with the armoured car in the south, going for Stug there to support my frontline Truppen. Again, I'm drawing away some attention here from the centre now by again harassing the south, thusly achieving the desired goal. 2-2 there rolling out. section occupying here. We got troops here healing, reinforcing back at the base. With the Bren guns, they're probably prepared. Maybe some Piets there for Jazzy and the 7th Armored Division. Stormtroopers hiding here basically just to keep watching, to creep ahead, maybe get off some grenades and something there. Cut down a few chaps there before they get themselves too full of ideas of, beating the Germans. There we go, those 3G out here. Pin them up, machine gun on the way for that one. I really like this, by the way, there's a new Wehrmacht skin. It's really some nice quality. I mean, thumbs up to the modder there. I can't quite remember his name, but thumbs up. He certainly deserves some credit. And the money for it. Also, big thanks to him, by the way, for donating to the Propagandacast. Most appreciate it. Big thumbs up. He certainly allows me to keep doing this. So, yeah. Quick change there. I have to remind myself to do it. It's not that I don't want to, it's just to keep forgetting. Of course, there's so much else to keep out. But there you go, Stormtroopers ahead here, catching the Vickers out there. We got grenades off there, almost wiping it out. Stormtroopers need to retreat. Got the Vickers there. Armored car rolling hits, Duke finding covering fire. Pin up machine gun on the way.
I'm afraid, quite dead.
The MD-32. Pioneers hanging about there. Pack 40 firing up there as well, getting hit on the... Oh, actually not there. Still moving ahead, grabbing the Vickers there. Sappers with Bren guns as well. He's focusing very much in dealing with the infantry up north. Pioneers harassing, grabbing territory, and a bit of southern harassment as well. Again, I'm trying to sort of, keep him a bit unstable. Again, make it hard for him to guess. I mean, I'm forcing him to focus it because I'm just keeping a amount of forces here, pressure again. So in that regard, I force him there, but at the same time, I'm sort of just trying to sort of hit the edges as well there. Forcing him to have to focus on that one. Eventually forcing him to try to shift more forces to some point, at which point it can hit the center, or then make a bigger push into another side. So there's sort of, mind games and strategy here going on. In this case, I'm going to try and apply more pressure in the south here. With the Stuke to cover the northern side there, I'm more willing now to send the 2-2 down for a quick raid into the south. I'm actually sneaking up the Stormtroopers here, knowing the Vickers is around here. Stuke me up support as well. So now I'm trying to do a southern center push here. Then he's occupying line of sight there, drawing fire. Also scouting for the rest of my forces. Stuke moves ahead here. Needs to be covered over there into tank guns and the likes. Vickers being pushed away. Stuke, they're rolling a bit too far ahead. A lot of return mortar fire here. And I'm actually going to do something interesting. I'm going to try and suppress the mortar plane. Of course, you can't suppress emplacement, say, but you can force them to brace, which is essentially a voluntary suppression. So I'm basically using the 2-2 to fire it until you either brace it or knock it out. At the same time, I use my mechanism rather risky maneuver to grab the point in the meanwhile. And there we go, he braces it, meaning now I don't have to worry about mortar fire in the meanwhile. And again, it's a 30 seconds of presence. Well, of course, it can be annoying. If you look at it the other way, that's basically 30 seconds. His mortar can't do anything, and you can just move out your infantry freely. So that's basically what I achieved there with my 2-2. I achieved safety for my infantry and more freedom of movement for 30 seconds. So I have to really make it last here, make it count in those 30 seconds. There's a bit more of a, mission impossible. Agent Deutschland, if you choose to accept this mission, you have to kill a lot of Tommies, and you gotta do it before the mortars come aboard.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
2-2 there, halfway to victory 3. Stormtroopers need to retreat. I guess that was a misclick there for me. Other Stormtroopers squad sneaking about here. Gonna try and sneak about. He's keeping the armored cars nearby. He's worried about me pushing for the mortar emplacement again. You can see he's increasingly getting on the defensive, reacting more and more to my moves because I'm basically the one there that's sort of deciding it. Despite him having quite a mobile force, I'm using my less mobile force more mobilely than him. Basically, I'm outmaneuvering him, and that is forcing him onto the defensive. Stormtroopers reinforcing. Armored cars still patrolling about, and again, I've actually managed to push away from the centre just for a bit of attacking here and there, and again some flanks. Following up with an Austrian flak panzer to help deal with infantry and likes, and we got a land mattress. He's gone for mobile assault there again. He's only choosing it very reactively again, and probably for that one, which actually means it's a rather poor doctrinal choice compared with me. This pretty much so far almost got full doctrinal bingo since I've almost used every ability of my doctrine. Again, it's been overall a bigger plan of my strategy. Stormtroopers there moving ahead, and then I'm actually going to equip with a Panzerschreck simply because of the numerous armoured cars, because now I'm planning something a bit more sneaky. Got land matches fire against my central positions, where I do have a lot of dug in there.
Enemy is firing on our HQ.
Stuke moving ahead here, halfway to Veteran C1. A Kitten Panzerbuchse on the way. Osman arriving as well here.
Destroyed an anti-tank gun.
Anti-tank gun wiped. Moving up the 2-2 and the Osman. Basically what I'm planning here is a small rapid assault force that can quickly hit the mortar emplacement, draw at least some attention, if not damage them, and then open up for an assault for the centre and assault from the north. But again, I'm rather expecting he won't be prepared for sort of rapid assault. That's also why I went for the Patriotic Parks. It could also help with damage enough there. Attack for the centre here. Mortar wipe, recruiting that, and the Pack 40 there.
A capture point is being overrun.
Also cat resting by my feet, apparently. But there you go, hitting the mortar emplacement. Sapper's wiped, and the mortar emplacement goes down before it can even react. And I will further take advantage of this, you know, realising here's an opportunity. I push further, hit with the Ostwind and the 2-2, plus the Stormtroopers behind his rear lines here. In this case, he was able to turn about enough time here. Ostwind needs to be careful there. Stormtrooper supporting though. 2-2 down, but it got the AC. Plus, of course, a mortar emplacement. At the same time, of course, there's more damage going on here. More land matches fire. Ostwind pushes away here. Stormtrooper going off with a grenade there against the Vickers. Doesn't quite wipe it. Machine gun wiped up by the second land mattress barrage here. So ended up doing a lot of damage there. Plus, he just caused havoc, chaos. Again, I'm left him a lot less confident, unsure of himself, because now he has to further worry about flanks from here. And that's also what, you know, attacking from different angles can do for you. It leaves your opponent a lot less confident, because now they have to further and further worry about what angles could you attack from. Stormtrooper tank from the north here, going to attack into there. We got Pioneers rushing for the support weapons, and to tank on their flank at the Stoop. Ostwind nearby needs to be careful though. Stoop taking hit, the Ostwind slightly supporting. Stormtrooper hit is supported by the MD-42, and to tank being pushed away, we utilize my Stoop to advance further ahead to support the Stormtrooper if need be. And section there in the centre, wiped.
The squad's gone.
So a lot of damage there done, a lot of action, hectic action if you will, which is kind of one of the reasons I did, you know, find it kind of feel limited. It's a bit too short for my standards. Again, extra, but also, you know, they did have some good fights here against some, I think, nice flanks, if you will. Also pulling back for repairs. We've got another barrage here. My forces otherwise still are quite depleted. And the land match is doing some damage. I mean, there are some risky maneuvers I'm pulling off. But importantly, I am doing enough damage to make it work. He is yet to take up, by the way, probably due to the constant fighting there. He's not quite got the resources to go for tanks easily. Not when I'm pressing him with tanks and doing some damage to his infantry. The south section getting points there. I'm not sure if the Panther Brigades were the Stoops. I think the later ones would have. They've also had less Panthers, more Panzer IVs. Again, they're sort of then forced to draw from pools. In fact, the first Panzer Brigades were fully equipped with Panthers and Yak Panthers, which actually meant Panzer divisions couldn't get the replacement they're supposed to. So that was actually a bit counterproductive there. But then some of the sort of later German war efforts ended up being counterproductive in the longer run as sort of, you know, fight resource away at newer, less experienced units, preventing them resources from more experienced units. Like, again, Panthers. There you go, suppress the section there with a concussive grenade moving up. There you go, tactical advance to quickly finish it off before it can actually retreat. Bren gun left behind. At the same time, flanking back with the Grenadiers in the north. Mortar fire section, a lot of trouble.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Stormtroopers hanging the southern victory point. Student repairs. Ostwind good to go.
Ready for use.
Land matches firing. He's actually gotten 2 land matches. I mean, that's actually counterproductive. He needs tanks. When the land matches can do some damage, the problem is the land matches can't stop the Stuke or the Ostwind. Duke don't have to rush southwards, but note what I'm doing now with my Ostwind. Actually moving through here. I realise again he's not got a lot here, so what I have to do is I can actually flank behind him through here and knock out the support there.
Rocket artillery crew have been killed.
Storm's a bit of trouble. Got the Stuke moving in here to help deal with the armoured car. And there you go, flanking behind the Vickers and the anti-tank and preparing for an assault here, but again, not in a very good resurface track to any other assault here because he's blind there. At the same time, the armoured car there knocked out with the Stoop. Veterans who won gained. 6-pounder gun down, and the Vickers joining in next. So that's basically the power of flanking. Armoured car down. Pioneers there with Bren gun supporting. Hit a mine. Austin pulling back for repairs. Well, not actually, just close to veterans 1 troops they're enforcing. I know I'm spammed them. I went for 1 of each. So I don't know. And his name claims no skill. So I don't know. I mean, I basically called him Montgomery there, Monty, in irony. But I mean, if I can get him to convince that I got a ton of machine guns and mortars, I'd have to be really skilled. I mean, that's bloody tactical genius. Other way there, he was a bit upset about this. But again, you saw it yourself. I only went for 1 of each. So I mean, it wasn't really the numbers, it's what I did with them, you know. Quality over quantity. So there you go. Quick match here with me, since again there has been some requests for that, and again I want to put up more. It's just I haven't had the time, and really also I haven't had much time to LA to play. And then when I played, I wasn't able to get any really good matches. So I think again just sneak in extra episodes to maybe help make people happy. Ooh, nice details there, by the way. That I believe is Simmerit. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this little extra episode. I probably won't be doing a lot of them, but I might sneak in a few times at times again. Just can't find anything longer for my elves of my own matches. So again, I hope you enjoyed it, learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. And again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, again, subscribe all that. This is ImperialDane signing off, and see you all another time. Cheers.